Hello, and welcome to The Chat, communication to help activate teens. I'm your host, Chantel Waters, lead counselor for Clayton County Public Schools, and today we're having a little chat about girl talk, just talking to girls, helping to motivate and inspire them, and just finding out what our teens deal with and giving them words of encouragement to be the very best that they can be. Assisting us with our chat today, we have Miss Kristen Little. Kristen attends Georgia State University. She's a biology major with a minor in chemistry. She graduated from Lovejoy High School in 2007, and currently she cheers for the Atlanta Hawks. Mrs. Tangi Gant. Mrs. Gant is a counselor at Mundy's Mill High School and also the founder of All Grown Up. Miss Lakeisha Jett, founder of Social Butterflies, and she's also a teacher here in Clayton County Public Schools. We have the wife of Frank Ski, one of the best morning shows in Atlanta, Miss Tanya Rodriguez. She's also the president of Frank Ski Kids Foundation. And last but not least, Dr. Stephanie Phillips, our deputy superintendent. All right, so ladies, tell us, you were once teenagers. What are some words of wisdom, just some things your parents, your teachers, your counselors shared with you to help you to become the best young woman that you could become?
Something that I was always told is that you have to take care of yourself with confidence. It's something that reflects in everything that you do. If you carry yourself with confidence, you will automatically be perceived in a different way. And so the way people perceive you is how you present yourself. So present yourself with confidence, and it will make a world of difference. It has for me, and I've done that ever since.
One of the things that was shared with me that stuck with me as I grew to become a woman was that beauty is from the inside out. And if you focus on that first, everything else will follow. So as we have young ladies sitting here today, I encourage you to work on the inside and let it penetrate through the outside, and the rest will follow.
One thing that stuck with me is never quit. In life, you'll have a lot of trials and tribulations and things that will make you want to give up and give in, but when you look at the bigger picture, when you look at your goals and the things that you want to accomplish in life, you always have to have in the back of your mind, never quit, no matter what is happening, what's going on, how difficult it is. You always want to stay focused on the big picture and keep telling yourself to never quit.
One of the things that my mother told me was to trust God and to have a spiritual relationship with Him that will keep you humble, but also to know exactly who you are belonging to Him. So I don't know what specific background in religion you follow, but whatever your higher being is, to definitely read the Word or get involved into some form of church, because that's where you'll get a lot of foundation for things that we're doing today, like public speaking and different things that can translate later on as you're an adult to having the confidence and the assuredness and all the things that the young ladies mentioned. For me, it started in the church.
For me, I think the thing that has persevered and stayed with me the longest has been to value myself. In addition to the things that the ladies have just spoken about, if you have a value of yourself and you know what your worth is and you know who you belong to, especially if you're Christ's child, then you don't have to worry about what other people think about what you do. You stay on the right side of right, and then everything else will follow. Whatever you want, whatever you dream, if it's in Christ's will, you'll have that, as long as you understand your own value and where you fall into His plan. So that's what stuck with me all these years and has grown with me as I've become a woman and as I've become exposed to different things. That has been one constant that I've enjoyed.
Thank you, ladies. This is actually a two-part series. So our first show, we wanted to have adults come in and just give their perspective of things that they've gone through and just share some words of wisdom. Part two, we'll actually have our teenagers facilitate the workshop and allow you to ask questions and just get things from a peer perspective. Most of these ladies reflected on their childhood, and that's important. A lot of our students are raised by their mothers, their fathers, aunts, uncles, so not necessarily their birth parent. So mentorship is very, very important. And two of our ladies here have started mentoring programs. Can you tell us a little bit about the mentorship programs that you provide?
Yes, the organization that I founded in 1999 is All Grown Up Inc. And All Grown Up Inc. is an organization for preteen and teen females in Clayton and Henry County Public Schools. We have several locations, but as the young ladies enter into our program, they have the opportunity to learn etiquette, enhance self-esteem, relationship building, financial literacy, field trips, college preparation, job readiness, all the skills that we feel is necessary to develop these young girls into becoming a woman. The main key component of our organization is financial literacy. So once the young ladies enter into the program, they have the opportunity to raise funds and start a 529 college plan. Our measures for the program is that every young lady that leaves our program has money to go to college.
My program is called Social Butterflies, Inc., and it is built upon building self-esteem among girls. We do pretty much some of the same things. We talk about, of course, self-esteem, self-worth, avoiding alcohol and drugs, respecting yourself and others. We follow a curriculum. It's called the Free to Be Me curriculum. And in that curriculum, it has different lessons on whatever we're studying or whatever we're learning about in class. Right now, we have 2 schools in Clayton County. We have girls at Huey Elementary and we have girls at Mount Zion Elementary. And then we have girls in Baltimore, South Carolina, and North Carolina that are part of the program. Girls come in at 4th grade and they continue the program until they are in 12th grade. We started the program in 2007, but we started working with girls in Baltimore City in 2004.
Okay. And Mrs. Rodriguez?
We have a program or a sect of the Frank Ski Kids Foundation, which is called the Local Legend Luncheon. And in that, we select schools in different counties. Our very first county was, in fact, Clayton County, because we wanted to spotlight the outstanding young women that attend schools here, and they were dealing with accreditation issues at the time, but we knew there were awesome kids in this county. And so we came into the county and we gave out $12,000 in scholarships. But what in the parameter of some of the things that you all have in your foundation and organizations, where we would have a Zanona Clayton or a Monica Pearson actually spend time to have lunch with these young ladies to spotlight their accomplishments and to let them know that they are beautiful on the inside and out. And it was incredible, the different experiences and exchanges we've had. As you said, etiquette seminars. We took the ladies out to get appropriate attire for business and interviews and things like that, and also keep in touch with them as they matriculate into college. So that's a very important, essential piece of the Frank Ski Kids Foundation, as we see so many images of young ladies in the media that aren't exactly what we'd like for you all to do or be. So that's an important sect that we carry in our foundation.
Okay. And then along those same lines, in that same vein, we talk about the images we see in the media. We see that stick figure, that skinny girl with the long flowing hair with a certain complexion, but none of us really fit in that category. So how do you learn to love short hair? I know as a child, I hated having short hair. I mean, if I could just do anything, it would grow, it would be to grow some long flowing hair. But it's weird because now I pay every week to get my hair cut, which is, but how do we teach our teens and our preteens to learn to love their teeth, their complexion, their hair, their voice, where they come from? Are there any things that you've learned along your journey that could maybe make it a little easier for them as they progress through life?
I think that if I had something to share, would really piggyback on my last comment. Value is not necessarily in what you wear. It's not in what you look like. It's in who you are and how you matter in this world. As a teenager, that's really kind of a foreign concept sometimes, because everything is about school and how you fit in and what groups you belong to. But if you are able to invest yourself in things other than school, like your church, like groups like the young ladies just spoke about, you will have an opportunity to see different things. You will understand that it's not always about the sneakers that you wear or the earrings that you have in your ear. It is really about what matters, and that's people. Do you do right by people? Do you help people when there's a need? Are you a good person inside, and are you connected to the Most High? It just really has to do with the connectedness of each of us. And I know I said that in the past, but that's really, for me, where it boils down to. I may not look like much today. I may be having a bad hair day. My clothes may be wrinkled. I may have spilled something on myself at lunch. My shoes may have broken. But guess what? I'm still the same on the inside, and God still has the same plan for me, whether my shoes are 6 inches tall or are they flat, or if I can only find sneakers today. It doesn't have anything to do with that. And so get a mentor so that you can begin to experience and understand some of these things that are a little bit greater than the world you may live in just this moment.
One thing I think is very helpful is having personal confessions. One thing we teach our girls is to write something down about yourself. Write down statements: I am beautiful, I am smart, I am intelligent, I am the best girl that I can be, I'm exceptional. Different things that you know or don't know about yourself and you want to accomplish with yourself. Write those things down, put them on a mirror, and say them to yourself every day. Once you start saying confessions to yourself, the universe, God, everybody will start working towards making those things happen for you. If you believe that you're not smart, then you won't be smart. But if you say every single day to yourself, I am smart, I am smart, I am smart, even if you're the lowest one in your class, you will see yourself begin to rise. You will see yourself begin to come up on a list. And before you know it, that confession has come to pass. So one thing that I think is really helpful for you all is to write a list of things that you are. Even if you think you're not them now, but you are. You are smart, you are beautiful, you are confident. Write them down and say them to yourself every single day. When you look in the mirror, because I'm sure you look in the mirror before you go out, when you look in the mirror, you'll see those confessions there, and you say them to yourself, and you remind yourself every day, and those things will come to pass for you in your lives.
I would just encourage you to surround yourself with people with like minds. I think in high school, and being a high school counselor now, I tend to see young ladies and young men gravitate to the wrong people. And when you get involved in, someone said, your church, community service, mentoring organizations, any type of after school activity, that person has the same interest as you. Connect yourself to a role model. That's very important. These days, you all are following your peers, and you all, unfortunately, cannot lead each other. So you have to find someone that you can look up to and say, yes, I want to be like that. I want to be that person. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're taking away from who you are inside. You're finding someone to mock and set goals and set standards for yourself to follow that person. So those would be the two things, getting with your peers who have like minds and attaching yourself to a role model.
I was going to say that I know in high school, because I just graduated 4 years ago, and it feels, when people say it feels like it's never going to end, it really sometimes does. And I think it wasn't until my senior year, maybe my late junior year, that I really started to realize I'm not going to see these people every day, and it's really not the end of the world. And so I wish I would have noticed that earlier, and I wish I would have grabbed onto that earlier, that it's not, it's not high school that's going to determine the rest of your life. And you can't, your circumstances are always going to change. What's cool and what's popular is always going to be evolving and different from one day to the next. So you can't put your values into something that's always changing, because that gives you no stability. You have put your values in things that are forever, your education, your family, your religion. Those are the things that really matter.
And what about dealing with unchecked emotions? We're having a bad day, so we hate the world, everyone gets on our nerves. How do we cope as teenagers? What are some things, and preteens, that we can share with our students, that every day is not promised to be a great day, but every day that you're alive is a great day to do the best and be the best that you can be. So when you're having a bad day, do you recommend talking to your counselor? You can't get in to see your counselor. Can you stop a teacher, or finding a good friend or a paraprofessional, the librarian at school? How can we deal with our emotions so that we're able to continue to move forward?
Something that I think I've been lucky is that I have a sister that I can always talk to. If it's your best friend, then that's someone that you can talk to. Even when I was younger and when my sister left for high school and I was still in middle school, I'll be honest, I loved my animals. And so my dogs, my cats, they'd be my best friends. And it works for me. So you have to find what works for you. Now I usually can turn on music and change my mood, you know what I mean? And the other thing that I have to think about on a bad day is that you determine your destiny. So your actions will always have consequences. And if you want something positive, you have to put positive into your life.
I definitely agree with what you said, and as a counselor, I will say that you definitely have to find a release point. We invest in a lot of things. As women, as girls, we buy shoes, handbags, clothes, accessories, but one thing you do have to invest in is your mental health. And that, as Dr. Phillips was stating earlier, what is your self-worth? Are you worth $1 to your mental health, or you worth thousands of dollars? And whatever it costs you, whether it's purchasing a journal to journal your feelings, finding an organization to get into, whatever it is, invest in your mental health, because if you do not have your sanity, you don't have anything.
I would say in terms of reaching out and having a release point, as the young lady said earlier, you definitely need a friend, but not sometimes. Having multiple points of release is good too. With the teacher who is who you really can relate to, or the counselor who really seems to understand where you're coming from, or even the choir director at church, wherever your point is, find somebody to reach out to just relate to. That's going to help you tremendously as you learn how to deal with bad days or bad situations. We have choices, and those choices are, we don't control our circumstance. What we do control is how we deal with our circumstance. And all the things that we've talked about kind of feed into how you deal with your circumstance. What are your values on yourself? Who are the people who you can reach out to for help, support, or just to listen? So you really have to find out, and even if it's just your journal, if you don't have time to talk to somebody and just write it out, that always helps.
Thank you. And as we wait for some of our student guests to come up and ask questions, you've all pretty much touched on feeling good from the inside. Beauty comes from within. But what about little things like being well groomed? Free. Making sure your hair is combed. Free. A brush. How do we not associate the amount of money we have in our homes to buy certain things with just being well kept and just well groomed?
I think that is very important. Your personal appearance is very important. And like you said, you may not have a lot of money, but you can always comb your hair, make sure your clothes are nice and neat, brush your teeth, do things that's just going to make your appearance look very nice and neat. You don't have to have fashionable clothes, but if your clothes are neat, your clothes are ironed, people will see that you care about yourself, and then you'll feel good about yourself. When you get up in the morning and you make yourself presentable, that brightens your day. So one thing that you can always do is make sure that before you leave out the house, you look presentable. You look like what you want your future to be. If you want to be a movie star, if you want to be a singer or a dancer, or if you just want to be the best person you can be, that's what you should look like when you walk out of the door and present yourself to the world.
And I would also say, don't focus on the things that you don't have, but enhance the things that you do have. Go through your things at home. You'll be surprised when you revisit clothes and shoes and handbags. I've done that before and thought, ooh, another new shopping spree, and it was things that I had in my closet. But hair products, as this lady was stating before, you definitely want to make yourself well-groomed when you go out. Leave the house and comb your hair, wash your face, do those things. That's again investment in self. What is your self-worth? If you go out looking like who cares, that's how people are going to treat you.
And those are the type of people that you will attract, is those people who don't care about their personal hygiene and their personal grooming.
What some of the best advice I received as a high school student was to fake it till you make it. So although, you may not have much, you may not have the most expensive outfit or anything that's fashionable, at least put the pieces you have together in the best way possible. Hair comb, teeth brush, well groomed, and make a statement. Ladies?
Good afternoon. My question relates to relationships and friendships. And if you're in a certain situation where you're hanging out with the wrong crowd and you start to realize and you want to start to change your environment and the people you hang out with, how do you nicely tell those people that you think it's time to change it up and get new friends because they're really making your life go in the wrong way, or you're living the wrong life?
Well, I don't think there is a nice or easy way to really say that. I mean, really being honest. If you have that discernment, and if you have that inner core in you that has led you to that moment where you have a crossroads, I think that you are mature enough to know what has to be done and said, because you will be judged by the company you keep, unfortunately so, but we all are. And if you have come to the point where a person that you really like and have hung out with for a long time, and you have to say, hey, wait a minute, this is not the direction that I'd like to go, or whatever, I think you know what you need to say, and you'll find the words in love to say it to that person. And maybe you'll get them out of the situation or circumstance too. But there really is no easy or nice way to get around that circumstance. But the fact that you acknowledge it, that means that you're mature and you have reached a crossroad where you have made a choice for yourself to love yourself instead of being involved.
I would just add that each relationship evolves. One action at a time, one conversation at a time. So if you're being honest with yourself and you know that you don't want to go to this party, or this is not the type of activity you want to be involved with, you should state that to your friend, because if they're your true friend, they will respect that. If they're not, those conversations will lead you to the right answer. And you don't want to be in a relationship, friendship or otherwise, with anyone who's going to try to force you or pressure you to do activities that you're not comfortable with.
And I'm going to say, be encouraged to follow your gut feeling, because your gut feeling is always the right feeling. Don't ever second guess or doubt yourself when you know deep down inside it does not feel right.
I was going to say, sometimes it's not even what you say, but what you don't say. And when you find yourself in that kind of situation and you begin putting yourself in different situations where those people aren't there, they'll realize that you're not there and start to think of why. And so if you feel the need to tell them why, then that's, do it in the best way possible. But sometimes you just have to do what's good for you. And if that's to move into a different situation, to move into a different group, then you should do that.
And lastly, I'm going to say that everyone is not in your life for a lifetime. Some people come in your life for a reason and for a season, and sometimes that season changes. So it's okay. It's okay to say goodbye in a nice way. You can still be cordial with people, but people's lives change. And when it's time to move on and disconnect with some friends, it's perfectly okay. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jocelyn Nolan. I go to North Clayton High School. I'm a junior currently. My question is, I want to know, it's mainly for parents and adults, why do adults like to say that teenagers don't have any stress and shouldn't complain about anything when we go to school and we have pressures put on by our teachers, peers, and parents. And they say we don't have to worry about anything because they pay the bills. But they put their stress upon us for saying, you can't have that because I don't have money because I have to pay the light bill and feed you tonight.
I think that there is a disconnect generationally, and there are things that adults say that we really should not say. You know, we should not compare our life's journey with yours because it's different. One isn't better than the other, it's simply different. No, I didn't walk 20 miles to school like my grandmother said she did, but when I actually visited, I saw it's more like 3 miles, you know, whatever. But, you know, that was enough, you know. Caught the cheese wagon, that's what we called our yellow school buses in Baltimore. But just for adults, for us to acknowledge whatever pain, whatever stress, whatever situation you all are going through, that helps us. And I believe if we work with children, we are more apt to see the stresses of teenagers in addition to knowing what our own children go through. When you're so far removed and when, you know, you may be like my grandparents' age, my grandfather's 96, and to him, since you didn't work in the steel mill, you haven't done a real good, hard day's work, you know, if you didn't work 16 hours a day. So it's a generational thing, you know, but if you could find a way to make your topic or whatever you're going through relatable with something that your parent may be going through, I think that they can step back and say, oh, okay, you know, I had a hard day and I really didn't give you the individual attention that you need for this issue going on in school right now. And then adults will apologize for that because it's simply a generational situation, I feel.
I would say that part of that generational gap is the fact that a lot of teenagers, and I'm sure this is not you, but a lot of teenagers come home from school, and when the adults say, well, what happened at school today? Did you have a good day? So on and so forth. You all say, mm-hmm. And that's it. Or, you know, you're going to the dance or you're going to hang out with your friends and you're going to all these fun places, and so they don't see that as stressful. But I would acknowledge that it's a different kind of stress. What young people and young girls go through today is something that I don't envy. I would not want to be in your place. It was hard enough when I went through it. I can imagine what it's like now. So, but it is different. It's being an adult and being responsible is totally different than the stress that you are experiencing in high school. So I think if we bridge the gap by reaching out to each other, probably be a different conversation.
Yeah, I was going to say I absolutely agree with them, and that's exactly what came to my mind when you said that, is that I used to feel the exact same way, like how can, because I've been told that before, absolutely, that I don't have stress, that, you know, I don't have anything to worry about, and I was like, no, you're completely wrong. But the thing is, I wasn't telling anybody what was going on every day. And so I think eventually when I started doing extracurricular activities like cheerleading and my mom actually got involved in the sport, then she would know who I was talking about and she would know, and I would tell her, oh, this happened today. And it was a better communication for the two of us to understand what was going on.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Samtricia Smith and I attend North Clayton High School. My question is for you today. What kind of advice would you give to young ladies about who want to be cheerleaders, models, dancers, and actresses, but they face the obstacles with their body, their beauty, and the image of their body?
I 100% bank on confidence. If you believe it, then someone else can believe it too. But if you have no confidence in yourself to do that, then you can't expect others to see it in you. You know what I mean? You have to put that good foot forward for others to be able to recognize, oh, I see potential, I see it. And you also have to be determined and not easily giving up. You know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to reach your dreams and to do things. And I for sure did not make every team the first time I tried out, but I kept going. And I think when people see that in you, it really does mean something, because character is a part of everything that I've ever done like that. Modeling dance teams. It's always been partially about your talent, but a lot more about your character.
And just to piggyback on what Kristen said is definitely don't be discouraged, because trying out, auditioning, that takes a lot of confidence, And if you see something within yourself that you feel that needs to be changed, your question was if you're struggling with your body and things of that nature, it's okay to make healthier choices and decisions that may affect your overall health and well-being. But you want to make sure that if you do decide to do those things, that you're doing them for the right reasons.
And I'd just like to add that I came up in the pageant system and also cheerleading, more tumbling than dance. And I'm only 5 feet. And I did it for specific reasons. And I think when you have a goal in your life, and for me, I knew I was going to be a broadcast journalist. So I had to put myself in positions where I would speak in front of people because I had a fear of it. And so that's when I started getting involved with essay contests, and okay, I'm in front of 2,000 people. But when you have a goal, whether, I don't know what your specific goal is, whether it's a height or whatever, and then you find out, oh wow, being, 92 pounds and 5 feet was really an advantage that I didn't know I had, at the time, because everyone is taller and whatever. But whatever your goal is, preparation makes you confident. So prepare yourself. Do the research. It's very easy now at fingertips on computer. You don't know what a car catalog is, do you? You don't know okay. Go and it's at your fingertips. Prepare. That preparation, your desire to reach your goal makes you confident, and it takes you to the next level. And never ever give up, like she said earlier.
And I would add, let your talent and your confidence be enough. When you get into modeling and dancing and acting, I'm sure some people will present some opportunities to you that may not be ethical. Always say no to things that are not ethical, and let your talent and your confidence be enough, because it's a God-given talent, and He'll make a way for you to accomplish all the things you need to accomplish with it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all so much for participating in our chat on self-esteem and just our girl talk. We hope you enjoyed it. Please give our special guests a round of applause. They definitely come from all walks of life, but shared some very, very helpful hints and tips for our ladies. Thank you for chatting with us, and have a great day.